All right. Have you ever been told you need to, get out more? Or maybe you've just felt a little bit judged because your perfect Friday night is you, a good book, and the couch, not some loud, crowded bar. Yeah? Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to dive into the deep psychology behind why so many of us absolutely love staying home.
I mean, what if that craving to be home isn't a flaw at all? What if it's actually a sign of a real strength? And what if it's not about what you're running from, but what you're actually building? That's what we're going to get into today. We are going to completely re-examine what it means to be a homebody.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the homebody reframe. We're going to kick things off by just completely flipping the script on this whole conversation. Society loves to slap labels on people who enjoy their own space, right? Things like antisocial or boring. But the truth? Oh, the truth is so much deeper and honestly, way more interesting than that.
Just look at this comparison here. It really flips the whole idea on its head, doesn't it? On one side, you have what society says antisocial. Feels like a judgment, right? But what if it actually means you're energetically intelligent? And that whole fear of missing out thing? Maybe it's not fear at all. Maybe it's a deliberate choice to tune in to what you really need. And avoiding life? Nope. Let's call it what it is, curating your life. We're going to break down what each of these powerful reframes really means.
So, this brings us to the big question. Why? Why does being home feel so good? I mean, it's more than just comfy blankets and your favorite spot on the sofa, right? There are some really deep psychological reasons at play. So let's get into the three main reasons your home truly is your sanctuary.
And it all really boils down to these three things. First, your home is where your nervous system can finally feel safe and just rest. Second, it's about how some of us are literally wired to recharge in solitude. And third, it's that incredible, crucial feeling of being in control of your own little world.
Okay, let's start with the big one, your nervous system. I mean, think about it. We live in a world that is just constantly overstimulating. The second you walk out your front door, your senses are, well, they're basically under assault.
I mean, seriously, think about your day. There's the constant noise of traffic, the endless pings and notifications from your phone, the social pressure to always be on. You're soaking up the energy of everyone around you, and you're always kind of bracing for whatever might happen next. For a lot of us, and especially for anyone with a more sensitive nervous system, this is just completely and utterly exhausting.
And this is the key takeaway here. Choosing to stay home, it's not avoidance. It's not a weakness. It's this beautiful, intuitive act of self-regulation. It's your body, your nervous system, finally saying, okay, I'm safe now. I can stop scanning for threats. I can let my guard down. It's that moment where you finally truly get to exhale. And that's not just rest. That is a powerful, essential reset.
All right, which leads us perfectly into our second reason. This is all about energy, specifically where you get yours from. Because for a lot of people, energy doesn't come from being in a crowd. It comes from the quiet.
And we've got to make a really important distinction here, because so many people get this wrong. Introversion is not the same thing as being shy. Not at all. Shyness comes from a fear of being judged by others. Introversion? That's just about energy. It's like a battery. Extroverts plug into a crowd to charge up. Introverts, we get drained by that, and we have to plug into solitude to get our power back.
And this idea just nails it. Choosing to be alone when your social battery is blinking red, that isn't being antisocial. It's being energetically intelligent. It's about being smart with your own energy. You know what you need to feel good, and you're giving that to yourself. You're not ditching your friends. You're just honoring the way you're wired.
Now, this third reason, wow, this one is so powerful, especially if you've ever gone through periods in your life where you felt like you had zero control. Maybe you grew up in a chaotic environment, or you always felt like you had to perform for other people. If that's you, then your home, it becomes something incredibly special.
Think about it. Your home might be the first and only place in your entire life where you get to be fully in charge. You pick the art for the walls. You control the playlist. You decide what candles to light. And, maybe most importantly, you are the gatekeeper. You choose who gets to come in. This isn't about walling yourself off from the world. It's about creating a space where you can finally just be.
Okay, so we've established that loving your home can be a sign of real intelligence and self-awareness. But now we need to get real for a second. To make this whole conversation truly helpful, we have to go a layer deeper and ask a really honest question.
Because this is so true, isn't it?
Sometimes the very thing that protects you can also be the thing that traps you. Our greatest comforts can so easily become our most comfortable cages. And it's so important that we're honest with ourselves about why we're staying in. Is this choice coming from a place of strength and fullness, or is it coming from a place of fear?
And that is the core question right there. There's a world of difference between staying home because it genuinely nourishes and restores you and staying home because you're hiding. You can absolutely protect your peace while still stretching your comfort zone. So just take a second right now and ask yourself honestly, is this rest for me or is it a retreat? And look, there's zero judgment in that question. None. It's just about awareness.
And you know what? That awareness is what leads us to our final and honestly most empowering section. Because this whole thing isn't about trying to fit into some mold that the world has for you. It's about consciously, intentionally designing a life that actually works for you.
You know, when you finally stop trying to run at everyone else's pace, you give yourself the room to find your own rhythm. You realize you're not missing out on anything. No, you are tuning in. You're tuning in to the frequency that is 100% yours. And that's a game-changing shift in how you see things.
And really, that's the ultimate message here. You are the curator of your own life. You get to decide what you allow in, what you focus on. Choosing a quiet night at home can be an act that is just as bold, just as meaningful as a big night out. It's a sign of real maturity to know what you truly need and then to have the courage to honor it. So I want to leave you with a challenge, a practical tool you can use. The next time you feel that external or internal pressure to just go out, I want you to stop. Just pause for a second and ask yourself this one simple question. What does my nervous system actually need right now? And listen, sometimes the answer is going to be adventure and connection with people. And that's great. But other times the answer is going to be the deep, quiet, restorative peace of your own home. Answering that question honestly for yourself, it can change everything.